Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey personality, co-host of the uber-popular Smart Money Happy Hour that he and Rachel Cruz do as a podcast on the Ramsey Networks. He's my co-host today. Open phones here as we talk about you right in front of you. It's your life, baby. Let's talk about it. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Anthony's starting off this hour in San Francisco. Hey, Anthony, what's up?
Hey, Dave, how are you?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Yeah, well, first of all, happy early Father's Day. My wife, I started listening to you about a year and a half ago, and I got my wife, recently, new wife, into you as well. So we're both on the same plan and have the same head on. And my question is, we want to purchase a house within the next year or two. Mm-hmm. And the only debt we have right now is student debt that we've been saving over the last year. And my question is whether we should pay it off all now, but wondering if that will affect our credit score with trying to purchase a home within the next year.
Well, George, you did this.
Yeah, living this out. I've paid off student loans, and I bought a house without a credit score. So the question I think you're asking is, how will it affect it in the meantime if I'm in that weird in-between? Because when you pay off your student loans, is that all of your debt?
Yes, that's all our debt. Yes,
before he goes on, let me ask you a question. Do you have enough money in the bank right now to pay off the student loan?
We do. We both do.
Oh,
okay, so you could just write a check and be done today. And then you want to buy a house about a year from now.
Correct.
Okay, making sure I have my facts right. Okay.
So your emergency fund, will you have that in place already, or will you need to build that up after you pay off this debt?
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of scrambled. Total student debt between both of us is about $56,000, and we have about $70,000 in our savings. Mm-hmm. And we also have together about $20,000 in individual account with Schwab.
Cool.
Okay, good.
So that'll leave you with about $34,000 if you cash out what's in that account. That'll leave you $34,000. Let's call your emergency fund somewhere. Is it 15 to 20 for you guys? 3 to 6 months of expenses?
Yes, that's about right.
Okay. And then you've got a little starter down payment fund with the rest of that money.
So you got about $20,000 towards your down payment, and you got a year to finish saving up, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so we're going to tell you to pay off your student loans today. When you get home tonight, go, honey, we're getting ready to be debt-free. Watch, push this button.
Okay.
Okay, now, then how are you going to get a house?
So then in 6 to 12 months after you pay off your debt, that credit score will disappear once you close all your accounts. And then your credit score will disappear. Now, there's a chance you get the house and they run the credit and you still have a credit score, and it's probably still going to be a good score, and that's fine. You can still get a house that way. But there's really your credit score is not going to go down to, a 600 all of a sudden because you paid off your loans.
You have any credit cards open?
We do, but we pay it off.
Close them too.
Each month.
Close them too.
Okay.
That'll keep your credit score open. What we're trying to do is have zero credit activity, which will make your credit score completely disappear in 6 to 9 months. Zero credit score sets you up for manual underwriting, which is where they just check your job, check your deposit, like we used to back in the day when people had sense.
Back in the olden days.
Back in the day when people had to actually qualify for a mortgage, and a monkey can give you a mortgage now by looking at a number. Credit score. And we used to actually make sure people had the money to pay the bill and stuff. And it's called underwriting the loan. Manual underwriting is what it's called now, as opposed to not underwriting it. And so that's what George did. He went with a zero credit score into Churchill Mortgage and got a mortgage on his first home. Did I have that right?
Yeah. And Anthony, there's going to be so many friends and family that go, "You're crazy. It's going to be so much more expensive. It's going to take forever. It's going to be impossible." Don't listen to them because they've never done it. And so I'm telling you, it's not going to be that difficult. It's not going to take a lot more time. There's going to be a few more extra documents. And as long as you stick to that 15-year fixed with at least 10% down, you're going to get a really great competitive interest rate.
With Churchill Mortgage. Not all mortgage companies know how to do this, Anthony.
Yes.
So you can't run over at some stupid butt place like Bank of America because they won't know their butt from a hole in the ground.
My lender said they won't do it. You got to stick with one that actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah, you got to get with somebody like Churchill. They because we've endorsed Churchill for almost 30 years, and because I've told people to not borrow money, Churchill has obviously system-wide learned to and managed their whole process to being able to do manual underwriting because a lot of Ramsey people don't have a credit score. Because all of us got rid of our debt and our credit. We don't use credit or debt. But now, if you keep those stupid credit cards open, you may end up with a 650. And that's going to screw you up. So you can't half-butt do this, Anthony. You got to decide, is you or isn't you? And you got to lean in and push all the way through. So ish will get you in a middle ground you don't want to be in, and I don't suggest that. If you're going to do that, then just stay in debt, son.
Yeah, this idea of the credit score is hilarious to me. And once you get the mortgage, there's no reason you would ever need a score at all, even though you don't need one for the mortgage. Because the only reason people hang on to it is the what if, Dave? What if we need to go into debt?
You know, if I was in the banking business, I would invent a thing that said, you need to go get a credit card so you can build up this number, so that you can get a car loan, so that you can build up this number, so that you can get a student loan, so that you can build up this number, so that you can get a home mortgage. Because you need this number. And I would teach you to worship at the altar of the great FICO, because I would tell you that FICO was your great provider and that your life on the planet will be somehow substandard if you don't have this number. It almost sounds like Revelations.
Yeah, this is conspiracy level theory right here. And it's the only number that we obsess over more than our weight. Those 3 digits, man, we are so obsessed. We brag about it.
We the culture, not you and me, we.
Dave and I, it'd be a really sad
you
time
don't even
bragging.
obsess over weight unless it's a lack of it.
I don't share those numbers, Dave.
Okay.
And my credit score is
I would share some of my numbers with you, but it wouldn't help. Either one of us.
I'll take one for the team, Dave. You can donate some to me. Oh, but it really is a wild thing that our culture has become so obsessed.
So here's the interest. You know, I have to teach this, and have for 30 years. You could get $1 million inheritance. Your FICO score doesn't change one penny. It is not an indication of financial well-being or financial health. It's an indication mathematically. The algorithm by which they used, the math they used to build the FICO score is 100% based on how much you play kissy face with the bank. If you don't play kissy face with the bank, if you're not making out with Bank of America, you're not getting a FICO score. I mean, this is not hard, people. If you get $1 million a year raise at your office today, everyone will wonder why, and your FICO score will not change 1 point.
And you won't care about your FICO score then. Anyways,
it won't change 1 point. Yeah. It's not an indication you're winning with money. You can be broke but deeply in debt and have an 800 credit score, which, matter of fact, is about the only way to have an 800 credit score. Yeah. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dr. John Deloney here. I'm a huge fan of both meditation and prayer. And good mental health includes slowing down, gaining control of your thoughts, and plugging into something bigger than you. And Hallow makes it easy to start a daily practice of meditation, prayer, and finding peace. Hallow is the #1 Bible app in the world, and you can tailor content towards your faith tradition. From scripture readings and prayers to meditation and journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice prayer, meditate, and build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life and rediscover true peace. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today to get 3 months of Hallow for free. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We are so glad you are here. Today's question of the day is sponsored by Neighborly, your hub for home services. As the weather warms up, Neighborly can help you find local service pros like the grounds guys, 5-Star Painting, and Mosquito Joe to turn your outdoor space into your favorite space. It's a great company. Find the help you need at neighborly.com today.
Today's question comes from Chris in Missouri. I've heard some people say that when it comes to budgeting that I should only live on 50% of my income, save 25%, and invest 25%.
That's dumb.
Is it practical for me to only live on half my income, and is this the best way for me to begin saving and investing?
Who are these people that say this?
Who these people are?
They Said and I Heard are horrible financial planning firm.
Wow. Okay, so whoever these people are, they're going real aggressive on all fronts. So we recommend investing 15% once you're out of debt. There's no real savings goal beyond that other than your normal goals and your emergency fund. Have that in place before you invest. And then as far as your expenses, it's a great thing to learn to live on less than you make. There's no certain percentage. It's all very variable on your life circumstance, your family, your cost of living, all of those things.
But you have to live on less than you make or you end up in debt or broke and bankrupt, one of the two. I mean, but yeah, or both.
You'll be okay if you live this way. I just think it's a tough goal for most people.
That's just weird, though. I mean, I don't know who came up with that. That doesn't work. So I will tell you, George, that, when we were laying out the baby steps, we started with $1,000, a little starter emergency fund. Then you get out of debt, you build your full emergency fund, 3 to 6 months. Baby step 4, save 15% of your income for retirement. 5 is kids' college. So we have these very specific buckets that you're investing and naming and giving admission to the dollars. Back when I was putting all that together, one of the things I read was a wonderful quote from there was a great awakening, a great revival that swept across America in the frontier days. John Wesley, the Wesleyan, the father of the Wesleyan Church, the Methodist Church. And he said famously that if you give 10, save 10, and live on 80, you'll always be okay. And of course, that's not a bad formula. But we decided to instead give very specific goals to, tithing for those of us that are Christians. That's what he was referring to. But on the giving side, but on the other side, very specific goals and very nuanced. And so at baby step 2, we teach you to save 0 and put it all on the debt until you get out of debt, so that you get rid of the payments, so you got more money to invest and to give. And so it's kind of our thing's more of an intermittent fasting thing, right?
There we go. You're just before the trends,
did I just say something modern?
That's how hipster
a little
Dave
scary
is.
right
He was
there.
doing it before it was cool.
Yeah, that's it. Jane's in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Hi, Jane. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I've been listening to you for a little while now, and you seem to favor a Roth IRA over a traditional IRA quite frequently. I know the differences. I'm wondering why you tend to favor the Roth, and I could tell you why my financial advisor originally put all my money into a traditional, if you want to hear that.
Well, it's possible that your financial advisor fell in the same hole that other financial advisors fell in and couldn't get out. And that hole was, in order for the traditional to work out ahead of the Roth mathematically, you have to be in a lower tax bracket dramatically at retirement than you are now. A dramatically lower tax bracket, which, by the way, means you haven't got any money. Because if you've got $5 million, your required minimum distributions at 70.5 are going to put you in the same tax bracket you're in now. So you're not going to be in a lower tax bracket. And so the Roth absolutely mathematically kicks the traditional's butt. And here's why. If you take $200 a month from age 25 to age 65, 40 years, and you invest that in a decent growth stock mutual fund, you're going to have $2.5 million in there. However, only $96,000 of the $2.5 million is actual principal that you put in. So if you did a traditional in that, you would have gotten a tax break on $96,000. You would have not paid taxes yet on $96,000, but you'll pay taxes on the entire $2.5 million as you pull it out. If instead you did this with a Roth, you would pay taxes on the $96,000 and zero taxes on the rest of the $2.5 million. So there's no way that the traditional even comes close to the Roth mathematically. Does that help you?
Well, that's what must be why my financial advisor went that route. Because yes, I'm retired now, but when I was making a decent salary, I was obviously in a higher tax bracket than I am now that I'm retired, and so he's moving slowly every year a certain amount from the traditional into the Roth to still keep me in a very low tax bracket.
No, that's good. That's a smart. That is a smart move. But he assumed that you weren't going to have enough at your required minimum distribution because you know, in my example, you got a tax write-off on $96,000, and then you still end up paying the taxes on it when you pull it out later. And so it just doesn't make sense at all. Now, when Roths first came out, they really took the nerd population of financial planners and blew their brains out. I mean, their minds, they just were in a hurricane. They didn't know what to do. And I was one of them. I spent numerous hours crunching numbers trying to figure out this thing. And here's the other interesting thing, George, is when you compare apples to apples, what we would all do in those days is we were trying to do the proper math calculation. So if you're going to say, all right, $100 going into a Roth requires, because you got to pay taxes, that's net of taxes. So to put 100 into a Roth, you actually have to make 130, right?
Yes.
So we would say, all right, 130 going into a traditional or 100 going into a Roth, because that's a correct set of mathematical assumptions for a math nerd. And if you're a financial planner, you usually are a super math nerd, right? Now, here's the problem with that. That's not what people do. They put
the same amount in.
They end up putting the same amount in, regardless of the tax situation. That they forget that taxes have already come out. I've already got the taxes out of my Roth, but I'm still going to fully fund the $8,000, the $6,000, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to still max the thing out. I'm still going to put the exact same percentage of my income into the Roth 401k at my work, even though it's net of taxes. It took more money to get that in there than it did to do that in traditional. But no one ever goes, I'm going to put 80 into my Roth instead of 100 into my traditional. They don't reduce it. They just put the same amount in.
Yeah.
And so you end up with a Roth. We cheat you. We trick you into saving more.
By accident. You didn't even know it.
We trick you.
No one's called in saying, Dave, I did Roth like you told me to. I got too much money in retirement. What do I do?
I've never had anybody
good
go,
problem to
I
have.
followed your plan on getting a match first, and then getting all the Roth I could get, and then doing traditional. And I ended up with millions of dollars, and I hate Dave Ramsey. I have never had that complaint. Never.
Well, and on top of that, there's no required minimum distributions on the Roth IRA.
Ta-da.
So that's a big bonus as well. And when I get to retirement, I don't want to be worried about tax brackets and how much income I can withdraw. I just want to live and give like no one else and not have to worry about that.
So, Jane, where you have ended up today, you're getting good advice on the gradual move so as not to bump your tax bracket, because whatever you pull out from under the traditional, move it to the Roth, is not going to be subject to required minimum, and it's going to grow from this point forward tax-free, but you're moving it gradually so as not to bump up a tax bracket, and that's good advice. The advice that got you here, however, is bad advice. I wish you were all in Roth right now. You'd be in much better shape. You wouldn't have any of this discussion going on, and you probably have more money. So, but it's not the end of the world. You did good, and you've retired, and you got a chunk of money, and you and I got the opportunity to talk theory, and that's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So the rule is rock, paper, scissors, but except there's only one way to go. Okay, match beats Roth. 100% match before you get started. You can't beat that math, right? Beats Roth. Roth beats traditional. So do all the match you can, all the Roth you can, and only then do you do traditional. This is The Ramsey Show. Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Ruben and Andrea are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
English, Indiana.
What's that near?
It's about an hour west of Louisville.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
right where you are. Yeah, very cool. Welcome to Nashville.
Thank
and how
you.
much debt have you guys paid off?
We've paid off $252,852.
Way to go. How long did that take?
48 months.
Wow. And your range of income during that 4 years?
We started at $150,000 and we're ending at $220,000.
Wow. What do y'all do for a living?
I do construction. I own my own business with my dad and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then I work as a problem manager for a agriculture financial lender.
Ah, very good. Good for you guys. So what kind of debt was the $253,000?
Heavily student loans, a tiny bit of medical debt, and then our mortgage.
Oh, you paid off your house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looking at weird people.
Yep.
Very nice. What's the house worth?
Our property's worth about $450 right now.
Excellent. And how much have you guys got in your nest egg, your 401ks and Roth IRAs and stuff?
Probably around 200 or so.
Very good. You're going to be baby steps millionaires soon.
Yes.
Yep.
Well done. How old are you two?
I'm 29.
And I'm 32.
You know, paid for house.
Yes.
Weirdos.
Extra weird.
I
Feels
love
good.
it. I love it. Well done. Okay, so what happened 4 years ago? You must have got married.
We did.
We did. It was right around the time we were getting married that we started the steps. We were over at one of her friends' houses, and they were talking about Dave Ramsey, and I didn't know much of it. And I was on Facebook at the time. When I get home, you pop up on my Facebook ads. Click
were
on it,
listening.
watch the video, and then I started listening to your podcast, and it was pretty much game over from there.
Uh-oh. So, Andrea, he got addicted, huh?
He did. He very much did.
I'm sorry.
What was your first reaction to all this when he was like, hey, you got to listen to this Dave Ramsey guy?
Yeah, well, I mean, I get excited pretty easy, so I was super on board. Like, he seriously came home and said, we need to cut up the credit cards, and we literally did that same day. And then, I don't know, it probably didn't even take a week later, and I was like, I don't know what we're doing.
Uh-oh.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
I just jumped in the pool. I'm not sure I can swim.
Yep.
The deep end.
Yeah, literally 2 years before we were talking about her student loans, they made you, after she graduated college, they made us basically a lot amount of money, to pay each month towards it. And it looked like it was going to take us 20 years, basically, is the plan we were on. And then it took us no time after that.
Yeah, you just give you hope that you can do it.
Yeah.
And you knock it out in 48 months. House and everything while we're at it. Mic drop.
That's wild. So you went from a 20-year plan to a 4-year plan with the house. What made you guys push on through after the consumer debt was gone?
I just said, why not?
Like,
You
we
can
came this
breathe.
far.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. While we're at it, we got the momentum.
Yeah.
Push it all the way through. Wow. So what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is? You're 29 years old. You have a paid-for house. You're almost millionaires already.
I'd say communication. We tell all our friends all the time that it felt more like marriage counseling than a financial plan, because that communication piece was the biggest thing.
Yeah, and budgeting helped a lot too. Like, we were just spending money on stupid stuff we didn't really need. And
what's the dumbest thing you bought when you were doing stupid stuff?
That's a good question. It was just more. It was more like just like we had like Netflix, Hulu. We had all those things that like even way more. I don't know.
Yeah, those automatic subscriptions that would just take money out, and you have to look at it and be like, "Do we need this?"
You don't care what it is. Just fill a buggy up when you go to Costco, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I was just reading a stat that 51% of those who make six figures are paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
Which is just wild. And you guys were those people.
Yeah, we were
going
those people.
We make good money, and it's all just disappearing.
Yeah.
What were the tactical things you did to actually get control once you started looking at this?
The monthly meeting.
Yeah, monthly meeting was very much so.
That made us stay on track, and especially like I was the spender and Ruben was the saver. So making sure we stayed together and communicated and stuck to that, because that was hard. Like, you very much had to wrangle me in at times.
Yeah, it was rough at times, but I had to do it.
What was the one biggest fight you remember?
Going out with friends. We had to slow that down a little bit.
Yeah.
That was
very much so.
That was the main thing.
That was hard. Our biggest chunk, we paid off the like 90-ish thousand between February 2019 and April 2020.
Whoa,
and
right in it.
That was
in the thick of it.
And then COVID and shutdown. Like, it was a tough time.
Yeah, it's very hard. Hard for everybody, but it's hard to be sacrificial in the middle of that mess. Yeah. Way to go, you guys. Excellent work. Okay, and you got kiddos?
We do. Right.
Are they here?
They are here.
Okay, well, bring them up here. Let's get them in the shot. Okay, what are their names and ages?
Ruby, he's about to be 2, and then Rory, she's about to be 1.
All right, very cool. Oh, good-looking guys. What a great family. Those kids don't even know what their mom and dad have done. Their whole family tree has changed. I'm so proud of y'all. Well done. Hey, we've got the Live and Give box for you. That's the Total Money Makeover book, the Baby Steps Millionaires book, both #1 bestsellers for you to read or give, whatever you're going to do there. And, of course, Financial Peace University as well. You can use that or give it away, too. So, way to go, you guys. Ruben and Andrea, Ruby and Rory from English, Indiana. $253,000 paid off in 48 months, making $150 to $220. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free.
Yeah! I love it. So, George, a buddy of mine was telling me he was looking at Twitter. I don't look at Twitter, as you know. It's full of crap. And he said, half the people on there are like, Dave Ramsey doesn't know how to make people millionaires. He goes, you make
That's
people
hilarious.
millionaires all the time. And
Out of all the things they want to come at you for, that's what they chose?
I mean, isn't that funny? Because those guys right there, they're 29 years old. They're almost millionaires.
We put people on the air all the time that have just said, I followed your plan and now I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
Look at that. I don't know how much more social proof we can give them.
It's not for rich people. It's for poor people, Dave Ramsey stuff.
Dave for broke people.
I think you're an idiot if you say that. I mean, because the data is that we may have made more millionaires than anyone else in America.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't do it, but we showed more people how to become, and they did go do it then, So, because the trick here is this. Listen, hey, what's the #1 cause of divorce in North America today? Money fights. Money problems. What'd she say? Marriage is better. Communication. What's the #1 thing? Communication. 3 different times she said, I'm the spender. Communication.
Accountability.
We had to learn to work together. We had to hold each other accountable. Communication. Marriage has increased. Debt is gone. Thought they were going to be under the thumb of the student loan debt for 20 years. And no, 4 years later, while we're at it, let's just pay off the house too.
It's amazing.
I'm so proud of them. They're neat. Wow. Amazing heroes.
And I hope there's other people out there who are going, we make over $100,000, and yet we're broke with payments up to our eyeballs and subscriptions we forgot about, and we thought we were going to pay off debt maybe 20 years from now. We'll retire one day, and instead they took control.
Along comes Ruben and Andrea to bust your little idea.
Yep, those little kids will do that to you. And they cash flow those babies in the middle of all this.
Well, just drop that in there, why don't we?
Crazy.
Yeah, way to go, guys.
Man.
So very cool. Listen, when you take control of your own life in a world that tells you you're a victim, you're what's called a hero. They're rare. They're rare. It's someone who stands up, throws their shoulders back, and says, not me, I'm not a victim. I mean, because there's plenty of people out there who will tell you that you're stuck.
That's easy to do.
People like us.
Well, our millionaire study, Dave.
What's a people like us? What the crap does that mean?
We found 97% of the millionaires we studied believed they had control over their own financial destiny.
Well, isn't that interesting? Well, I mean, once you've ridden a bike, you ask people that know how to ride a bike, is it possible to ride a bike?
Yes.
Most of them would say, yeah, I think we can ride a bike because I like to do it fairly often. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. So that couple that paid off $253,000 in 48 months. Also, we were talking to them at the break, went through Financial Peace University. See, and he said, he never misses a podcast. You can listen to this podcast and know all the answers and not do it. And you'll still be broke and stressed and no wealth. Why? Because knowing what to do with your money isn't the problem. Doing it is what you have to do. You actually have to do it. Yeah. Knowing that donuts will make you fat means you have to quit eating them, not just knowing it, right? I know this from personal experience, I can tell you. Okay, personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. The proven way to change your behavior is get in a system like Financial Peace University. It's the most well-known, most popular, actually most effective personal finance class in history. Yeah, really, 10 million people have been through this. This is why this class has worked. It's like having a personal trainer. You got a coordinator that's a superhero that's in your corner. They're going to hold you accountable. They're going to love you, encourage you when you're scared, show you what to do, become, in a sense, like a coach, right? Hey, Financial Peace University. Sign up at RamseySolutions.com/FPU, RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Brandon is in Jackson, Mississippi. Hi, Brandon. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my question is, should I live closer to work, renting an apartment, buying a clunker vehicle, as I hear so many times, or should I keep paying my 2023 Honda Civic off and drive 2 hours Monday through Friday to work, an hour to, an hour from?
I don't know why these things necessarily go together. I personally cannot imagine driving that much to work. My commute is 12 minutes, and I would change my life if it was 2 hours. So why do you want to drive that far? Why does that sound appealing? I mean, you could live close to work and have a Civic.
Right.
So they're not mutually exclusive. Why?
There's more to it.
Yeah, I guess so.
So I am 30, and I do still live with my parents, and that's kind of the thing. It's like, well, I don't think I make enough for a mortgage or anything, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I need to have them. Maybe I need to rent somewhere, or I'm not entirely sure.
All right, let's catch back up. How old are you?
30.
Okay, and what do you make?
I make about 40. Yeah, I'll make $46,000 a year.
Okay.
How much was this Civic?
Civic was $25,000, and my parents paid it. My parents paid it, and I'm paying back $500 a month.
Oh. Dude, that car is a large portion of your world. So you're saying the other option is we sell the car and get a clunker and then go live on your own closer to work?
Yes. Yes, I was trying to
I like that
communicate a little
plan.
bit earlier.
Yeah.
That's a great plan compared to your life right now.
You're chained to a car, and it's making you live with your parents when you're 30.
And having a multiple-hour commute.
Yeah. There's nothing in this.
it's really
Nothing in
not
this
good
story is
quality
fun,
of
man.
life.
There's no fun here.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how big of a clunker you have to do, but you definitely need to get rid of this car, regardless of where you live, because it's more than half your annual income. You have too much tied up in car. And, I think you already know what you're supposed to do. You just wanted us to tell you.
Yeah, it's a reliability thing. I'm scared.
No, that's not what we're talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I think you're ready to not live with your parents. You're 30.
Yeah, I am.
You need to move.
You want your dignity.
Yeah.
Right now, your growth has been
And
stunted.
what's keeping you from doing that is the car.
Right.
Yeah. So what they thought was a blessing actually has caused them to have a 30-year-old in their basement. So it's not a blessing. So because, you know, there's a part of them that wants rid of you, and there's a part of them that wants you to stay forever. That's all parents. We don't want our children to leave. We love our children, assuming they're functional and not crazy and all that. But, I mean, most of us love our kids, and we want to be around them. I love my grown children. I've got kids in their 30s, right? And grandbabies. I love them all. I don't want any of them living with me, though, now. I'm done with that. I figured out I figured out I can love them better when they're not there.
It's amazing how that works.
Yeah. Move out, get rid of the car, get you a cheaper car, get you a better life. 2-hour commute sucks. Big car payment sucks. Living with mom when you're 30 sucks. Let's undo the sucks, man. Really. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm with it. And Dave, I've got so much flack lately. I've been uploading videos on my YouTube channel about car buying, car leases, how dumb they are, how your car payment is costing you $6 million.
And the little whiners don't like it?
Well, they go, you can't get a used, oh my gosh, he wants us to die in a fire on the interstate.
Oh my God.
Driving these used cars.
Well, hey, listen, die in a fire on the interstate, you drive a Tesla. Come on.
Yeah, I'm already living on the edge.
Yeah, I mean, you're dying on a fire on the interstate looking for a place to happen. So
I'm just brave.
I know you are. You have great courage.
But this idea that a used car is somehow way more unreliable than your new car.
What's interesting is if you buy a brand new car and you have it for 2 years, do you have any idea what you're driving? A used car. How is it possible that all used cars are unreliable? That's a dumb butt statement. That's dumb. Especially cars as well as they're made today. The quality of vehicles today.
I just saw there were
a 200,000-mile Civic, and it's still a great car.
They sent me a video of this Toyota that had 1 million miles on it, and it was still running.
That, but
it was impressive. This idea that if it's over 100,000 miles,
change your oil. Hello,
goodness gracious,
change your oil. This is not rocket science. Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna die in a fire on the interstate. What kind of wilting snowflake comment is that?
Well, it's
I'm
hyperbolic.
gonna die in a fire on the You are a drama freaking queen.
They catastrophize everything.
And worse than that, you posted that on a YouTube video that was someone else's. What? Jeez.
I know. These are the YouTube comments that I love to read, Dave, just to rile you up.
I think I can hear your mother's helicopter blades in the background. Pop, 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 pop,
Need
pop,
something
pop,
safe
pop,
and reliable.
Yeah, no gluten. Pop, 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 pop. I'm just saying. Oh my gosh! Wow.
Oh, what a time to be alive!
I'm telling you, man. Jeez, I am turning into that get off my lawn guy.
And we're all here for it.
You're here to watch it
only
happen.
helps the ratings
You're
if
here
Dave's
to watch
yelling
it
at all
happen.
of us.
Oh my gosh!
But here's the thing. If you're going to buy a used car, people, and Dave, you've been saying for years, get the beater car, get the beater car. Well, yes, the beater cars are more expensive than they were. You may not be able to find the $1,000 beater car. It may be a $5,000 beater car.
So is your income.
Your income's gone up. And get a pre-purchase inspection for $100 so you know you're not buying a lemon that's riddled with issues, and you'll be just fine. That's all it takes. But I'm done with this excuse that I need a $35,000 car because the $5,000 one is going to end me in a fire on the interstate.
Burn you on the
It doesn't check out. Just admit that you're justifying a bad purchase. That's okay. Be honest with yourself.
The wussification of America. Oh my gosh. You're going to die in a fire on this. I'm going to be in a van down by the river.
That's now a dream for many people, Dave. That's not even the worst case scenario.
Yeah, I talked to a lady out here the other day, a young lady. She said she's a digital nomad.
Ooh.
That's a neat word for homeless.
But it's digital now, so it's digitally homeless.
Yeah, I'm digitally a nomad. Yeah, I'm not just a nomad. I'm now a digital nomad, which means your avatar is actually homeless too. Yeah, so.
I'm going to become that old man going, kids these days and the digital nomads.
Can't get nothing. No, hey guys, listen, we don't want you, if you'll drive like no one else. I didn't drive over here in a $5,000 car. I drove over here in a really nice car.
I parked next to him. I can vouch.
It was nice. It was a fun. I really wanted my commute to be a little longer today because it's that much fun to drive that freaking car. But I drove pieces of crap for a few years so that I can drive anything I want now. Drive like no one else so that later you can drive like no one else. Live like no one else so that later you can live like no one else. One definition of maturity, emotional, psychological, and spiritual maturity, is the ability to delay pleasure and not be whining the whole time. Call the Wambulance. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, George Camel here. If you love the show and you want a deeper dive on your money journey, we've got a weekly newsletter that gives you helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for the newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey personality, co-host of the really, really popular Smart Money Happy Hour. He and Rachel Cruz do that together. Ramsey Personalities. It comes out, a couple times a week now, George?
Every Thursday, we're airing.
Once a week.
If we could do more, we would. The people are clamoring.
There is a lot of clamoring going on.
So much clamoring.
I have heard clamoring. I've heard it out there about Smart Money Happy Hour.
But Sharon Ramsey's a fan, and that's the only one I care about.
Well, I mean, that's good job security.
Yes.
Because she probably carries more weight around here than I do. So
Dave's not going to shut down a podcast that his wife loves.
Yeah,
Can't do that.
You just have to have a real good explanation. One of y'all are going to have to screw it up bad. But hey, it's working real good. Ramsey Networks is exploding, and Smart Money Happy Hour is part of that. The Dr. John Deloney Show is part of that. The Ken Coleman Show is part of that. Check it all out. We're glad you're here. Thank you for being with us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Chris is with us. Chris is in Dallas. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Hey, Dave. I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve, sir. How can I help?
So I had a question regarding the decision to pay off student loans versus paying off the home early. And I know the baby step program. I'm a big fan of it. I was on step 7. I was a younger guy, in my 20s, and I was living at home, so I had no mortgage to pay, no kids, and I was saving every dime that I had to hopefully put a down payment on a house. And last year, I got married in 2022. I had $60,000 saved up. I was debt-free, no assets other than my car, and my car was paid off, and my personal belongings. Now that we're married, our income is about $110,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we got married, I moved into an $86,000 townhome, and as of last year, when we first got married, $80K was remaining on the mortgage. This is a 3.25% mortgage rate.
Mm-hmm.
She also has $45,000 in student loan debt that I knew about before we got married, and she was aggressively paying it off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that this question might resonate with some of your younger viewers struggling with excessive student loan debt. We know that the Supreme Court is still waiting to do their $10,000 loan forgiveness, but if I'm being completely honest, I don't think it's going to happen. The pause is ending in a couple of months, and I believe the loans will start accruing interest in I think it's September. I think the payments are going in October, but the loans will actually accrue interest in September. So we're looking to, make a big decision here of either paying off the remaining balance of the mortgage or paying off those student loan debts. And part of that is the fear of uncertainty with the economy and with the inflation. Germany, declared a recession. I think it was last week. It's the fourth largest economy. And that's one of the things that we're kind of worried about here in the U.S. is how long are we going to continue to, say we're not in a recession? I know it's too
let me help you. You don't declare a recession, and you don't say I'm in a recession. Recession is a mathematical thing. It's objective. Right. It's not subjective. It's 2 consecutive quarters of the gross domestic product shrinking rather than growing. That is the definition of a recession. No one gets to decide that. That is what it is. If it's raining outside, you will be wet. If it's not raining, you will not be wet, regardless of how you feel.
Right.
Okay, so your feelings don't matter, and Germany didn't declare a recession. They admitted statistically that they were in one. I assume. I didn't see that article, but don't really give a crap. Germany's economy is not really relevant. What matters here is what matters here. So do you believe that the American economy is going to collapse, Chris?
I don't think it's going to collapse.
Okay, then stop this. What is all
the
this
real question
black
is
cloud over your
why
head?
are you justifying hanging on to all of this debt? Because I really don't think you're not really that worried about the recession.
I think that we have an administration. We've been in a recession.
But politics aside, let's just imagine politics doesn't exist.
No, we're not in a recession.
But we were last year.
Yeah, and did you realize it was 0.5% one quarter and 0.25% another quarter? It's the lightest recession ever that you could call a recession. I'm not defending Biden, and I certainly don't think it's a wonderful thing. But, dude, we're far from the Great Depression and you being in a bread line and unable to pay your bills.
Right.
Quit watching the news and get off the internet, man. Go out in the sun.
Yeah.
You're dying. You're killing me.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I
pay off your student loans first, and then pay off your house, Chris.
How much money do you have?
We've been paying the house down. We have the problem with paying off student loans during the freeze, right? Is there's a 0% interest on.
There's not a problem. They will take your money, write them a check, and be done with it.
But Ally Savings Account is giving us 4%.
Oh my goodness!
High yield savings
hey, Chris.
Account.
No one ever got rich borrowing on their student loans and putting in an Allied, for God's sakes.
I don't think we're trying to get rich. I think we're trying to just make an extra $300.
Okay, wait a minute. The balance on the student loan is what?
The balance on the student loan is $45,000 with the interest rate.
Okay, and Allied's paying you how much?
Ally's paying us 4% on $70,000. It's about $250 to $300.
No. On the 45 is what we're discussing. Okay. Chris, what's 4% of 45? $800.
Less than $4 grand. $800.
Yeah. You know what 2% of 45 is? Because that's your big leverage deal you're doing here. $400. Crap, man! You spend more than that on pizza. You're not getting rid. This is intellectual mumbo jumbo. Quit trying to beat the system. Get your butt out of debt. Get your house paid off. You believed it before, and now you've been down the black hole. You're spending too much time on TikTok, man. Really. You really do need to get your head out of the internet.
I could have got a side job and paid off your dets for you in the time you spent researching all of this.
I could have paid it. So you got $70,000 in the bank. You should pay it off today. And then you ought to reach over there and you ought to be done with the house by Christmas. You want to be not worried about a recession? Here's an idea. Get everything paid off really fast.
If that's the thing.
Instead of talking to me about an Allied high yield account. No one ever got rich on a 4% high yield account in a 9% inflationary market, dude. You lost 5% of your purchasing power while you're screwing around discussing this. Rookies, Absolute rookies.
I'm turning off the headlines.
You've been on. I can smell it. All you're doing is respouting social media crap. You have been reading do not. If Twitter is your financial planner, if TikTok is helping you with your leverage discussions, you're screwed, Chris. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dr. John Deloney here. I'm a huge fan of both meditation and prayer. And good mental health includes slowing down, gaining control of your thoughts, and plugging into something bigger than you. And Hallow makes it easy to start a daily practice of meditation, prayer, and finding peace. Hallow is the #1 Bible app in the world, and you can tailor content towards your faith tradition. From scripture readings and prayers to meditation and journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice prayer, meditate, and build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life and rediscover true peace. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today to get 3 months of Hallow for free. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
Okay, guys, when you are making your financial decisions and your analysis around your financial decisions, here's a couple of rules for you that the wealthy people do. Okay? They make their decisions based on the principles that are going to take them to their goal. Now, we are sure, after 30 years of doing this, that one principle is your most powerful wealth building tool is your income. And when you get rid of debt, your probability and speed by which you become wealthy is increased. The more debt you carry, the slower you run towards being a millionaire. It's a math thing. And all the data is there with all the people who have done it. The second thing you need to do is you got to be really careful, and this is a trap I fell into when I was young and stupid, because I'm really, really good with math. And I'm really a math nerd. Way bad. Like pocket protector, calculator on my belt, math nerd. And if that is you, you will get paralysis of the analysis if you're not careful. What I learned that wealthy people do is they don't get caught up in the nuances of the math. They do what we call big math, meaning they're looking at the big chunks and where that's taking them. And when I'm doing things here on the air with you, I don't use a calculator. I don't need one because I'm typically not doing nuanced mathematics. I am looking at the big chunks. Now, what I mean by that is if if you do nuanced math, you say, oh, I have $47,000 in an Allied account that pays me 4%. Why would I pay off a student loan that is 2% or a mortgage that is 2%? I'm making 4. I'm making 4 and the student loan is 7. Why would I do that? Because I'm losing that money. But then you actually do the math. What is 4% of $47,000? It's $800. What is the spread? 2% spread. And this is your leverage factor. And the whole thing, all of this mathematical theory that you spend all of your brain power on if you're a super nerd like me, ends up being the cost of a pizza, which proves that you are concentrating on the wrong things. The right things to concentrate on are the big things, the things that are going to take you where you want to go. And it's not, am I getting rich on, because here's an example, okay? I use a Discover card and I get 2% back. Okay, so let me help you with this. So you spend $100, because it sounds like I got 2%, free 2%, 2%. Oh God, I'm so smart, I got 2%. This is the super nerd inside your brain, right? But let's do it. Okay, $100 spent is how much? $2. Where was the wealth building when you spent $100 and you got $2 back? Can you imagine millionaires sitting around and thinking and going, I think that's great, let's do that? No, broke people think that's great. And they get all hung up on the 2%. It's $2.
But Dave, that's just one of the cards. The other one has a 5% rotating cash back on restaurants this month.
I know.
So if I eat out enough, I can become a millionaire for my 5% cash back.
Again, let's just take your whole eating out budget times 5%. And by the way, you gave away 100%. You got back 5. This is a this is a wealth reduction plan, not a wealth increasing plan, because you're consuming 95% of the money. You got 5% back, but 5% ends up being $5 or $15. I mean, guys, you're majoring in minors because you're super nerding on the math instead of actually looking at the nominal dollars that the math creates. If you actually run the math formula out and look at the number of dollars, you go, I'm so screwed that I can't breathe. This is dumber than a rock. And I had to learn to do that because that's what millionaires do. It's called, it's called common sense. It's not a math formula.
There's a concept.
It's when you give away 100, if little Johnny gives away 100 and he gets back 2, how long does it take little Johnny to become bankrupt? Not wealthy, but bankrupt. This is a math problem
from
the 4th grade. Is that a Common Core
math problem right there?
I'm just telling you, man.
Whoa. Wow. Yeah,
and then you get this thing from NPR. This thing right here.
Yeah, I resonated with this because this is part of this discussion we're having. Here's the headline. A lack of credit history creates financial obstacles for immigrants. And as a first-generation American whose parents were immigrants, I resonated this because I went, oh my gosh, this is my parents' story. Here's what it says. What may seem like an immigrant cliche actually happens every day. Foreigners arrive in the U.S. with big dreams and a few dollar bills in their wallet. That was true for both of us reporting the story. And it goes on to say the U.S. economy counts on you to borrow money and stay into debt. And the epitome of all this is the credit score, which often snares newcomers into a financial catch-22, penalizing a lack of debt history and pushing many to take confusing, sometimes costly measures.
Whoa. Besides that, we need to support the U.S. economy because that's our first goal. My first goal is not to support the U.S. economy. My first goal is to make sure the Ramsey family is taken care of. The U.S. economy will have to deal with itself.
They'll figure it out. So that's what immigrants do.
It counts on you. It counts on you.
Welcome to America.
Stay in debt.
You need a credit score to live here. That's pretty much what they tell you. And so how do you get a credit score, Dave? Well, you got to go into debt to get the score so you can go into more debt.
To get the score. So you can go into debt to get the score.
Oh, my gosh.
So the great American dream, when you add this method to it, turns into the great American nightmare for a lot of first-generation immigrants.
Oh, yeah. And they play this game because they were told they had to play the game. Mm-hmm. And then they realize, wait, where's the American dream? We're broke up to our eyeballs in car loans, credit cards, personal loans, student loans, medical debt, mortgages.
Now, your family was Middle Eastern.
Yes.
So we've done a lot of work in the Spanish community, people coming from various countries in the Latin world. And a lot of them don't have a trust of banks. And so they haven't fallen for this, if they're particularly their entry-level socioeconomic. Okay, now if they come in higher brow.
They're heavier cash users.
Yeah, heavier, complete.
It's under the bed.
It's literally in a box under the bed. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's not a metaphor. It's a shoebox with $100 bills under the bed because they don't trust banks to not go broke because they came from a banana republic of some kind that the banking system was not reliable, and so they don't fall for this because they're not going to go into debt. Now what they do fall for is other things, title pawn and other crap, but what happens is people like your mom and dad, they often get Americanized in the worst ways.
They adapt to the culture, and part of that is this toxic money culture that says you got to go into debt. And where does that lead us? Well, U.S. household debt now surpasses $17 trillion. Now, here's what's interesting, Dave. Comparing that to the European Union, which has more households and yet less than half of that amount in debt, which tells me that debt is the most aggressively marketed product in American history. And we are so good. America's number one in a lot of things, and debt is one of them. Marketing is one of them. And here's a great quote from a Stanford economic sociologist. Being financially responsible in the U.S. has come to mean borrow and repay. That pretty much sums up how you've been doing this for 30 years, Dave. Everyone was told, if you want to be financially responsible, borrow money and repay it back, and do that over and over again until you die. And then maybe one day you'll hopefully be able to retire. Whew. It's insane. So I think it's time for a cultural shift here.
Well, you just want to say, hey, don't, you got here for the Statue of Liberty. Don't give up your liberty. Don't sign up for slavery.
You come here for freedom and you lose it.
Yeah, and first day, sign up for MasterCard. That's your first thing to do. Once you're looking for liberty, but you go get a Master first thing. Yeah, that's not our American Distress. We can sign up for that. Or Discovering Bondage. Yeah, all for 2% back. Don't forget. $2.
Land of the free, home of the broke.
$2. $2, Bob. $2. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Sean is with us. Hey, Sean, how are you?
Hello. How you guys doing today?
Better than we deserve, sir. Where do you live?
Houston, Texas, sir.
Cool. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you paid off, sir?
Well, Dave, $63,000 and $2 pesky dollars.
Oddly enough. Excellent, dude. How long did this take?
About 13 months.
Good for you.
Yes,
and
sir.
your range of income during that time?
Started at $52,500 and ended at $80,000.
Okay, good for you, man. And
Thanks, sir.
Very, very cool. What kind of debt was the $63,000?
Well, it was $58,000 in student loans. Had about $2,400 in personal loans, and then the rest was credit card debt, sir.
So you just knock the student loans out. Just knock old Sally Mae out.
Had to slay the dragon.
Get that ugly woman out of my house.
Absolutely.
Evict her.
Yes, sir.
I like it. Well done.
So what happened 13 months ago where you went, all right, I'm going to stop being normal and just collecting debt like Monopoly chips here?
Well, I got my first big boy job, and I was like, okay, making some good money now. It's time to be a better steward with my money. And then I started buying trips to this flight to Denver, this flight to Phoenix. And then I realized, oh man, it's not working out. So I decided to look up how to handle my personal finance on YouTube. And I fell asleep watching videos. And then 2 o'clock in the morning, I see a video of a guy with a chain around his neck and talking about the borrower is slave to the lender. It's funny because as soon as that happened, my TV just turned off and I fell asleep. But when I woke up, the very first thought in my head was the borrower is slave to the lender. So I said, you know what? I need to learn more about Dave. So I started watching more videos. And Dave, you gave me the best Christmas gift I could ever ask for. It was 2021, and you had given a 14-day free trial at FPU. And 3 days into that free trial, I already saw all the videos. And then 2 days after that, I bought a year membership. I was like, I got to get on this. I got to hold myself accountable.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Went through an FPU class, coordinated an FPU class, and currently doing another one, trying to help other people and inspire them as well.
Thank you. It's impossible to lead a class and not do better at your own money because you can't be a hypocrite, right?
Absolutely. Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well done, man.
What
Yes,
a
sir.
transformation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Boom, boom.
Thank you.
And 13 months, not even just barely over a year.
I mean, it
You're
was
free.
my full-time job. It was a part-time job. It was a DoorDash and Uber. It was getting at it, just nonstop, budgeted, and
People
it was a
people
journey,
make
sir.
fun of you because you were pretty intense.
Well, I mean, the people that made fun of me, then it made me realize maybe I shouldn't be hanging out with those people.
Whoa!
You know, maybe I should be surrounding myself with people that want to be with me for me.
Mm-hmm.
And circle got smaller, but you know what else got smaller? That debt.
That's good.
Well, you become who you hang around with. Wow, very cool, man.
What
Good
was
for
the
you.
most lucrative side hustle for you that you went, this one's worth it, if someone's listening out there?
Well, actually, can I give a little side story?
Sure.
So my full time is as an accountant for a custom home building company.
Mm-hmm.
My part time was with a fast food company, Taco Bell,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was doing DoorDash. And so I did 15 hours of my full time, part time, and then I ended up doing some DoorDash and Uber at the end of it. I said, let me do it. Tell me how funny. This is how I know the big man upstairs was watching, because I ended up having a DoorDash order to pick up Taco Bell, and then I ended up dropping it off to a house that my full-time job actually built. So
Full circle.
It was a full circle.
The
with all
circle of
three.
life.
And then
Yeah.
when I saw that, then that's when I realized, okay, this is meant to happen.
Yeah,
This is going to
really.
happen.
I'm going to be okay.
Yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
Be okay.
Yes, sir.
Wow. It's very cool.
So you're doing accounting part-time as well?
No.
So I actually owe you guys a lot, because I wanted to continue to pursue. It's not only you two, but it's also the rest of your team as well. You know, Ken, John Deloney, all of them made a big impact in my life personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually going for my CPA now.
Wow.
It was, and the thing is, I owe it to the YouTube community as well, because I was going to go through a long journey of that, but then somebody was like, dude, you could do it this way, do it that way. And all of a sudden, it made things so much easier for me.
The YouTube crazies, they're
So
a big help.
They were a big part of cheerleaders for me.
Yeah, they are. They're good cheerleaders. They are.
sir.
They're
Yes, sir.
hardcore, too.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
They'll call you out.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Well done, man. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you
It's
so
a
much.
whole
Who
life
was your
transformation.
biggest in-person cheerleader?
Oh, my family,
Uh-huh.
my friends. I mean, we all, they thought I was weird at first because I was barely around, but I was working.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, once I told them I was debt free, they were like, what?
Say
They
what?
had to double check. And then it was like, okay.
All right.
But I definitely, you know, my mom, my dad, my little brothers, my little sister, my accountability partner, Cynthia.
All right.
Definitely great moment.
Love it. Proud
sir.
of
You're
you,
like
man.
the poster child for all of this stuff, man. You're incredible. You're a hero.
Thank you,
How
sir.
old are you?
I'm 30 years old, sir.
Oh, my goodness.
Extra jobs, living on nothing, just leaned in 13 months, $63,000.
Yes, sir. Just figured if I could climb out of that hole, throw some dirt into that hole, and you know, thanks to FPU, it gave me a path to move forward. And now my mission is to try to spread that word to everyone else.
Amen.
I want to
Thank
be
you.
in your class.
Yeah,
Thank you.
really.
Thank you.
Really, he's motivating, man. That's very cool. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Very, very well done. Man, excellent, excellent. Now that you're done, all that hard work, that was a wild year you had.
Oh yeah,
How's it feel? Yeah,
there it is. That's all I have to say.
yeah. Was it worth it?
Oh yeah, most definitely. If I could tell 20-year-old Sean that, you know, the key to success is really delayed gratification. You know, and you know, just be faithful to what you really want to aim for.
Amen.
And
Amen.
you know, knowing your why is what really gets you going.
Yeah, for real. Proud of you.
Absolutely.
Good work.
Thank you.
Good work. We got
Yes, sir.
we got the Live and Give box for you. It's got the Total Money Makeover book in it. You'll give that away because you know all that stuff. The Baby Steps Millionaires book. You're getting ready to be one of those soon, and you're on your way for sure. And getting ready to be a CPA as well. Man, what a great story you are. And Financial Peace University membership. You can give that to one of your buddies, and maybe one of those people that thought you weren't going to do it, and get them going. That'd be a cool cool payback right there. So good stuff. Sean from Houston, Texas. Wow. $63,000 paid off in 13 months, making 52 to 80. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Love you, Jerry. 3, 2, 1. I'm debt free!
Yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Wow.
I want to be him when I grow up.
So I think it's really important. What we talk about around here is one of the things that, you know, we're really good at information, Ramsey, giving you the content, giving you the information, the what to do next, the steps, the detail, the nuanced answer to your weird question, all that stuff, right? But what we're even better at, the reason that Ramsey's where it is, not me, but this whole place, over 1,000 of us in the building, is because we actually inspire you to go do it. Mm. And humans inspire other humans, not information. So here's what I think is really important about his story. He took a 14-day free trial, completely binged through the 9 lessons. Some people go, got it, turned it off. Back to their same old habits.
Good to know, and they just move on with their life.
Good to know. A good point. And what did he do? Instead, he said, what was the phrase he said? I need the accountability. I need to get all in. And so he said, I'm going to go ahead and he's already got all the information now. He got the 9 videos for free in the 14-day free trial, right? But instead of going, now I know it all. No, he realized the secret sauce is not the information, it's the application of the doing it. And he said, I got to get signed up for the whole year.
And he had the humility to go, I need the accountability.
Exactly.
I know me. I'm self-aware enough to know I need to go a step further.
Let me help you. If you're human, you need accountability. There's no one. The Lone Ranger had Tonto. I mean, come on. Everybody.
We all need somebody.
Everybody. Humans, it is not good that man be alone. Bible is real clear about that. And if you didn't think you knew that, you discovered it again back during when we had that little thing that Fauci did, that quarantine thing. Yeah, when he made everybody sit at home and get fat.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that? Everybody sat at home, got fat, and had no humans around them? Yeah, remember that? Yeah, I remember. And, we figured out we need humans. Humans need people. It's a song, yeah.
That's a great song. Well, Hey, I'm leading an FPU class starting next week virtually. And so if you are listening to Sean's story, you go, I need that, it's not too late to join. You can go to fpu.com and sign up for my class that I'm leading. I don't know that I'm going to be as good as Sean, but I'm going to aspire to be as good of a coordinator as Sean.
I think you guys might be surprised how mean George is.
I'm going to come at you, and we're going to have a good time.
Come at you. Yeah, like he's all hopped up on Mountain Dew.
Well, it's the cold brew, Dave. Doesn't take much caffeine to go through my little veins.
Come at you like a spider monkey. This is the Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. George Campbell, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. John's in Atlantic City. Hi, John. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you? Pleasure to talk to you guys.
Good to talk to you. How can we help?
All right. So I've been listening to you for the past month or so, and before that I was buying real estate, but I think you would disagree. I'm just going to lay out what I have. I have $52K in the money market. 8,000 in checking, and I have a credit card debt of 9,000 and a car loan of 21,000. My wife, her only debt is her car, and we have a house that we owe $426 on, and my 3 rental properties I owe $125 on, $126, and $110, but they're all rented out. So I was going to buy another piece of real estate, but what do you think?
I think you should take all that money in that money market and knock out all of your debt and leave you with a nice emergency fund and slow down on all of this real estate investing.
Until you can get some of it paid off.
What's her car debt?
Yeah. Her car debt, she's going to be paid off in 4 months. I'm not sure exactly the number.
You don't know what the balance is?
No, I just know she's going to be done in 4 months. Her payment is
so it's a couple $1,000 then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you can write a check today and be debt free. Am I understanding you right?
Yeah, but then, I mean, I know you're dead against it, but I love having the rental properties and having the money come in, but I also understand the Ramsey way.
Well, here, how old are you, John?
34.
Okay. All right. When I was 24, I started buying real estate. And by the time I was 26, I had $4 million worth. I was aggressively buying it. And I was buying really, really good deals. I was buying stuff at 70, 80 cents on the dollar. And so I had good equity positions. Some of the property I put mortgages on, and I was renting. Some of it I had short-term notes on, and I was fixing it and flipping it. During that time, now that was a long time ago, that's back in the 80s, okay? During that time was another, that moment in time, there was a real estate craze. Real estate was the answer to everything like it is right now. Everybody's talking about real estate right now. Everybody in your age group, the 20s and 30s thing, it's all over social media. It's all over everything. It's like the thing to talk about. Like you're cool if you're doing real estate right now. You know what I'm talking about. It's everywhere, right?
100%.
It was that way then. And in those days, we didn't have social media, we didn't have the internet, but we had these things called infomercials that would run at night. And a guy would sit by the side of the sea with the waves crashing in and talk about how wealthy he was and how he had bought all this real estate, nothing down. And you could buy his tape set for $3,000 on how to do it and that kind of stuff. There was a bunch of those characters out there. One of them's got a really nice winery now in Napa, Del Dado, and he was one of the biggest ones. And makes a great bottle of wine called The Beast. Side note, but anyway, so I was in this group. There was a group of people that started in each city. There was a guy that went around and got a group of people doing nothing down or low amount down real estate investors club of Nashville. And I was in this club with about 60 people that were doing exactly what you're doing and that were doing what I was doing back then. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they were all buying with as little money as they could put into it and making the rent, collecting the rents and hoping that was going to pay the bills and so forth. Now, here's the reason I tell you that long, long drawn-out story. Mm-hmm. No one from that club 30 years later is rich. None of them.
Okay.
Except two guys.
Wow. So you think the quickest way to be a millionaire?
And both of those guys worked diligently to reverse the process and get out of debt. I went bankrupt while I was in that club. I lost everything at 28 years old.
Yeah.
And so did a whole bunch of those guys. As a matter of fact, the guy that wrote the book called Nothing Down, named Robert Allen, went bankrupt. He filed Chapter 11. Okay? And so the proof is in the pudding. When you visit it 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years later, you can see, okay, did this work? Didn't work. The only ones that worked for were the ones that reversed the process and cleared the debt, like George just told you to do. So I love how aggressive you are. I love that you love real estate. I love real estate. I've got a bunch of it. After I went broke, I made a bunch of money later, and I own several $100 million of real estate now. I think it's an excellent investment. I like real estate, but 100% of my real estate's paid for. So, George, I think you're right. I would stop buying. I would clear the personal debt, and I'd clear my mortgages, all of them, including my house. And you've got the ability to do this because, dude, you're a go-getter. You're a guy that gets crap done. But if you don't watch, you're gonna outrun your coverage. And
that's what scares me with John. I'm looking at a guy, he's seeing his cash flow from 3 properties. I see a guy who has $820,000 in debt, and one misstep could tank him.
Oh, yeah.
One life situation is all it takes.
Yeah.
And so I understand being kind of starry-eyed with a pile of money going, well, that means more real estate. I see it as we could get out of debt and reduce our risk and start to attack
You end up with
properties.
all of these properties paid for in 3 to 5 years, including your residence. You can buy another property a year for cash with the cash flow you'll create by doing that. That's what I did the second time. The second time the first one's really hard. You get these 3 paid off, that's really hard. But you get those 3, you get pure cash flow from those, no debt at all, you can buy another $100,000, $200,000 property pretty quick because you'll have enough cash. It just piles up. It snowballs in the right direction, and that cash will snowball for you if you're not giving it all to the bank. But 100% of the time, debt equals risk. More debt equals more risk. Less debt equals less risk. 100% of the time. And that's why all those guys went broke in that collapse.
Well, it's amazing how if you move a little bit slower right now, you can go much faster later on.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what happens. When you get rid of the debt and you have more cash flow, you're going to be able to save up and pay cash for those properties.
What others perceive as faster. But, yeah, the percentages shift on you. Because, once I got, a couple of hundred, I don't know, $500,000 worth of paid for real estate, I got serious debt. I mean, serious cash hitting the bottom line every month. And then I added some income money to that. And I can reach over and buy another one, reach over and buy another one, reach over and buy another one. And that thing gets to moving, and it does. It feels like it accelerates.
Well, then one emergency, the HVAC goes out, a tenant, some tenant vacancy, you're not freaking out.
Yeah.
You have a great position.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, something could happen like COVID where people don't pay their bills.
Nothing would ever. Oh, wait, that actually happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it.
And then you can't evict them legally?
Oh, yeah, that moratorium on evictions. Yeah. And I'm not going to pay because there's a moratorium on evictions. So good luck with that, landlord. I know, but, house is paid for, and when this is lifted, you'll be homeless and I'll have a house. So that's what happened to a couple of them. They tried to play shyster, and we're like, it didn't work out. I had one other come to me that was in a business that was, I had a strip center, and they came to us and said, we're in trouble. Can you help us? Please give us some mercy. And we went, yeah, we can do that. And will you forgive the rent? And I'm like, no. But I'll stop collecting it for now, and you can pay it back later. So, I mean, we can just pay no payments for 4 months, and then we'll pay double payments for 4 months or something like that. Yeah. We'll work it out with you. Because I get where you are, and I don't want you to go broke. I don't want to be the guy who cause you go broke. I'd rather you be alive and pay me the rent, So let's work it out. Let's go no rent for this month, and we'll look at it next month. No rent next month. Okay, because you're still getting Fauci'd. So as long as you're getting Fauci'd, I'll try to help you here.
And you had the margin to do that because you had paid cash.
I don't need payments.
You're not desperate.
And we did have one tenant one time, the poor lady, single mom, got terminal cancer. And, I have the margin to be compassionate and not charge her and just turn that house into a ministry for a period of time. It was a horrible thing, a horrible process she went through. And she didn't make it. Sad end of the story, But she didn't have a landlord problem because her landlord didn't have a mortgage problem. Hello, see how this works? This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you're here. George Camel, Ramsey personality, co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour podcast on the Ramsey Networks, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Hey, guys, we need your help. We do. If you would subscribe to this show or follow this show, it helps us considerably. So just click the button. If you'll share this show by telling people it's here, just go, hey, I listen to this on talk radio. Hey, I watch this on TBN. Hey, click the share button or share the link. It really, really helps us. And leave a 5-star review. That's very helpful. Very helpful. All of those things affect all of the number of people that are shown this show with the algorithms on the internet. And once they're shown it, then they get to decide if they think we suck or not. So we're glad when you help us out. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, you get all this for free. It's a way you can pay us back, right? There you go. William is in Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, William. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Mr. Ramsey, how are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
I need some Uncle Dave wisdom. I'll be coming into a pretty large inheritance in cash, and then about $3 million of it will be in dirt. So now that a lot of it is in incredibly great locations, including waterfront, and over 1,000 acres of it can be farmed or logged to cover any of the costs to own the land. But at the end of the day, I do not want the land because we moved away, and I have had these conversations with my father over the years, and his parents' generation, my grandparents, made it clear that they did not want my father to sell the land, and he honored that. And my dad has not put that request on me, but I grew up seeing how hard my family has worked and to build from what we have from nothing. And I mean, too, my first family members, when they immigrated here, farmed this land. So my question is, am I morally obligated in any way to keep this land because it was built and expanded over the last 4 generations?
No, you're not morally obligated unless you gave your word to keep the land to one of those heirs or one of those predecessors, your dad or your grandfather. If you did that, you'd be morally obligated to keep your word. But just the fact that it's got this tremendous nostalgia to it is not a moral thing. It is a little heartbreaking to think, I mean, and it probably hurts your heart a little to think about getting rid of it. But on the other hand, you're like, I can also know that just if I keep it, I've got all this hassle factor, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a very difficult thing for me to even think about, because I don't want to be viewed as I'm just cashing in, right? Because it really is not about that.
It's not about just. It's about the other option is hassle factor and dealing with it. So you said it's 1,000 acres.
It's over 1,000 acres, but 1,000 of it could be logged or farmed to cover the cost of the entire estate.
What is the total acreage piece?
It's about 1,500.
Okay, where is it? What state or area?
It's up north in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa.
Okay.
It's spread out.
And you're in Atlanta?
Correct.
And you have another life?
Correct.
Okay. So the expense of owning the land is property taxes, and what else?
That is it. It's completely paid off. It's property tax is the only thing.
Okay. All right. And what's it worth?
Conservatively, it's $3 million, and that's being conservative. It's probably even closer
couple
to
grand an acre.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is pretty rural stuff.
Yeah, but some of it is on the lake, up on Lake Superior, so that's really expensive.
So that would be like a resort property. Could be resort property. Okay.
Correct.
All right. And the rest of the inheritance that you're receiving is another $3 million in cash?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what are you worth before all this happens?
$250,000.
Okay. And what do you make?
Between my wife and I, 175 base.
Okay. So you don't need any of this.
Correct.
And you don't need the money. And just where do you want? So you got $3 million you can place in investments, and that's going to be wonderful. And this property is probably not going to go up in value at the same rate that normal investments were, because it's fairly inexpensive rural property, with the exception of the lakefront portion, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What do you want to do, William? Let's say you sell it and you get $3 million out of it, and now you have $6 million. What is your plan or your dreams?
My thought would be, I would like to think that when my family first immigrated here, and if they could see what their descendants have been able to amass, I would want to take it and then take that $3 million and invest it into a rental complex of some sort. That's kind of where my brain is at, because I believe that we can actually put that money to work rather than it just be dirt and just sit there and not do anything with it. I would much rather take it and build something even greater for when my wife and I have kids. Because, I mean, we're still young. We're 24 years old. So
okay, I'll tell you what I would do. There's no going back after you make the decision. Once you sell it, it's gone forever. Okay? So I'm gonna push pause and sit on it for a period of time and just let this decision cook a little bit. So there's no regrets. I don't disagree with any of your questions or your spirit on this. I completely agree with everything you've said. But I'm sitting here thinking, okay, if you're 24 and the thing sits there and you got plenty of money and you pay the taxes on it and just sit on it for 3 years, for 2 years, and just let this decision percolate. I kind of think then you're going to be really, really sure about what to do at that point, and you're going to have zero regrets. In other words, you're going to get really disgusted, and I'm getting rid of this. Or you're going to get more nostalgic and go, you know, I'm going to ride this thing a while. Okay? And I'm going to let this percolate a little bit. From the time it becomes yours and your responsibility, I'm going to sit on it for at least 2 years. Because you don't have to have the money from it. It's not killing you. And then you won't make a decision that has a regret with it later. The other option in there that you can throw in is a partial. Keep some of it. Carve out 200 and sell the rest or something to where you've got 200 out of 1,500. Yeah, I mean, wow, it's a lot of land. Do something like that, and then you've got that piece of nostalgia that's not enough that it's bothering you. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save 40% off selected products. Visit Blinds.com today for more info. All right, guys, how many of you are thinking about buying a home and you're cringing at the thought of paying off debt for the rest of your life, like a mortgage for 30 years? You don't have to fall in that trap. If you need to borrow, your best bet's actually a 15-year fixed rate where your payment's no more than a fourth of your take-home pay. It'll get you on track to pay off your house fast. A lot of people pay off their home in less than 10 years when they do that, just because they reach over and smack that mortgage. The free mortgage calculator on our website can help you. It'll give you an idea what your monthly payments could look like, and that way you'll know how much home you can afford so that you can be mortgage-free in 15 years or sooner. Go to RamseySolutions.com, click Free Tools. Use our mortgage calculator to get confident about home buying. Again, free tools at RamseySolutions.com. Catherine's in Daytona Beach. Hi, Catherine. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my question for you is, it has to do with a credit score. My fiance and I are on baby step 2. We're paying off debt. We have one credit card, which I plan on paying off tomorrow, and then our car loan. But What I want to know
Okay, wait a minute.
is
Did both of you sign on the car?
It's just me.
Okay, then your car loan, because you're not married yet. It's not our.
Okay, correct.
When are you getting married?
I'm thinking probably next year when we can get out of debt or when I can get out of debt and we can cash flow the wedding.
How much are you going to spend on the wedding?
I think we don't have a set budget, but we're going to go as budget friendly as possible. Hopefully, no more than like $3,000 to $5,000.
Okay, I would stop everything and go get married.
You think so, huh?
I'm positive. It's going to increase your likelihood of your relationship lasting. It's going to increase the how fast you get out of debt and you get to wealth building. Anyway, why'd you call? How can we help?
Yes. So, my understanding is that we should close all of our credit accounts. We do have a couple joint and we have a couple individual, like credit cards and everything, and get to that 0 credit score before trying to buy a home. But we're just kind of bumping heads when it comes to that. He believes that we should, keep the credit lines open, not use the cards just in case of an emergency, and have a buffer until we can get our fully funded emergency fund built up completely. So I guess my question is, like, what can I tell him to get him on board? And if so, what would the process be like, and what kind of time frame?
How old are you guys?
Would we look at closing out those accounts? I'm 23. He's 33.
Mm-hmm. And what's his net worth? Nothing.
I don't have a number that yet.
He doesn't have any money. Right?
Yeah. Apart from,
so let's be clear. We don't go to a fat guy and ask him about physical fitness. So his opinion about this really doesn't matter because he's obviously wrong. Am I wrong? He's broke.
No.
So his theories about money suck. Right?
Okay.
Well, do they or not? I mean, the proof is in the pudding. He has no money. When broke people tell me their theories about money, it's laughable. It's when fat people tell me about how to be physically fit. It's the same thing. I have a keg. If I go up to my, on the front of me, my belly, if I go up to my personal trainer and he's got an 8-pack and I start telling him about nutrition, that's funny. You follow me?
I follow.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of traps that he's fallen into that are cultural. Everyone believes this. And using your credit card as an emergency fund to borrow at 21% interest is about the stupidest thing you can do. So let me just give you some facts, because he's in kind of this wonky reality simulation right now. Here's what happens if you have an emergency above $1,000. You pause the baby steps and you go cover the emergency. You sell stuff, get side jobs, do whatever you have to do. So that covers that one, right? But that's not the only reason. You said the credit score. Correct.
Right.
There's a thing called manual underwriting when you go to buy a house, and you get a no-score loan through manual underwriting. They look at your full financial picture, your income, your debt-to-income ratio, your down payment, and they give you a mortgage without a credit score. Now, he can not believe it as if it's, I don't know, the boogeyman or the Easter bunny, but there's facts and data that refute all of this. And so I don't think this is an intellectual discussion. I think this is a huge paradigm shift for him to go, oh, I don't have to play the games of a toxic money culture that says borrowing is the key to wealth.
Catherine, you know why I was being so mean?
Why?
Because he's 33 and you're 23, and I think he's overbearing. And I was trying to give you some courage. He's wrong.
Oh, thank you.
I think he's strutting around like a turkey. And I think he's wrong. And I want you to stand up, and I want you to have your voice in this relationship, and both of you have a vote, because I think your intellect is stronger than his on this issue. And I don't think he thinks that. Am I wrong?
Just to be clear though, we are not like coming at it in an aggressive standpoint. I just didn't want that image to come across. I just wanted to.
You're not coming at it in a what standpoint? Say again.
Like an aggressive standpoint with each other.
No, I wasn't saying that. But I don't think he's listening to you.
Okay.
I don't think it's aggressive at all. I think it's passive aggressive, possibly. But I really, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe you're the overbearing one, but that would be unusual when you're 10 years his junior. It's possible. Maybe you're the stronger personality of the two. That's possible. But that's why I was doing that. Because I really want I want your voice to be picked up in this, because I think he's discounting your theories and it's making you discount them. And I think your theories or your approach, the way you want to handle this, is not being heard. And he's kind of rolling his eyes like, little girl, I got this. That's why I was doing that, because I'm not okay with that process. It's not going to work out well for you. And I love both of you, and I want you to both to win. And if he's on the phone, I would do the same exact thing. So I want you guys to, you don't have to be mean to each other or aggressive with each other, but his opinions are wrong because he's broke. I stand by my original statement, but I was being acerbic about it because I really want to make sure that your voice is being heard in this.
Yeah, and Catherine, I'm going to give you guys a premarital counseling gift. I don't know that he's going to do it, but I'm going to gift you 1 year of Financial Peace University. I've got a class starting next week that's virtual. You can join that or join a local class in your area.
Get in George's class. He's a lot nicer than me.
And maybe I can talk to him face-to-face. That'd be fun.
Yeah, George will be kind and helpful as opposed to me. So there you go.
That could help. So hang on the line, and Austin will gift you guys 1 year of Financial Peace. Sometimes, David, takes a third party. If it's just the two people going at it together, it can be difficult. When you have a third party...
I'm a third, and sometimes I'm a party.
Sometimes he's a fourth. Dave's a lot. He is a lot. But, Dave, I heard this quote the other day. Maybe you're not too much. Maybe they're not enough.
Ooh.
Thought that was a fun little...
Boom, boom.
Boom.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Just like that. Yeah.
But this is a common thing in a relationship.
But guys, honestly, when you're dealing with your family and you're dealing with your friends or even your spouse, if your broke friends are making fun of your financial plan, it's a sign you're on track. It's like you lost 30 pounds and your obese friend is making fun of you. Good. It means you're on track. Okay? It means you're doing the right thing. And so, I don't give people advice on growing hair on top of my head. I'm not good at it. My track record is horrible. And so if you call me up and ask me how to grow hair on top of your head, you should not take my advice.
Dave's good at getting rid of debt and hair.
However, George has the do. He has the do. If you want to have the do, you could ask George about it because he's the dude with the do.
Nobody wants this much maintenance in their life.
I don't have any maintenance, man. My life is good, but I'm still unqualified.
That's fair.
To give you advice about growing hair on top of your head.
One thing I have on Dave. That makes me feel good.
There's nothing there. I'm just saying. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget.
Thanks for joining us, America. George Kamel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of the Ramsey Solutions. I almost said Financial Peace Plaza.
Throwback.
In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions headquarters is the debt-free stage. And on the debt-free stage, Leo and Paige are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, Dave. Better we deserve.
I love it. Where do you guys live?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Fun. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you paid off?
We've paid off $140,000 in 37 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
It was $130 to $150.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a data analyst for an insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a CFO for a credit union.
Excellent. Very good. And what kind of debt was the 140?
It was the mortgage.
Whoa, look at it, weird people.
Yeah.
Way to go, you two. How old are you two?
I'm 31.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 28.
And you have a paid-for house. You're so weird.
Very.
Yeah.
I love you. You're awesome. You are so awesome. So what's this house worth?
About $300,000.
Ah, very good.
Yes.
And how much have you guys got in your nest egg and your 401ks and retirement and all that?
I think about 170.
Okay. Wow, you're getting there.
Yeah.
You're going to be millionaires by the time you're 35 then. Yeah.
Think
Way
so.
to go, y'all.
Incredible.
Wow. Baby steps millionaires right in front of me. Future ones anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job, you two.
I bet the folks at the credit union think you're crazy. They're like, what are you doing, man? Did they cheer you on?
Yeah, they did. They were very supportive. There's one particular individual, Chuck Stanley. I want to call him out. He was a big inspiration.
Yeah.
Very
well,
good.
I mean, he's the CFO of the credit union. They got to do what he says.
I debt-free CFO is the one I want to hire. I'm just saying.
Man, I'm just saying. This is smart.
Incredible.
Smart all the way around. Excellent. All right, tell us about your journey. What happened here?
Yeah, we got married 4 years ago, and at that time he had paid off his student loans, about $62,000, and we came to celebrate with you guys 6 months later. I think it was opening of this building, something like that.
Wow. Oh, wow. So you did a debt-free scream already?
We did.
He did, yeah.
You did your first one, and then you're doing one with the house, too.
That's right.
I like it.
Part
a double
two.
dip. I like it.
Yeah, so then we saved up for the down payment of the house, got our 15-year fixed, and closed on the house in early 2020. And
Ooh, just in time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in time.
Just in time to get Fauci'd. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. All right, and then 37 months later, you're not even 30 years old, and you have a paid-for house.
yeah.
That's right.
You don't have any idea, really seriously, how weird that is. Y'all are grinning like you do. But
Well, we wanted to make sure there was flexibility when our family tree changes. And,
No
having-
kids yet, but we're hoping to change that soon. so.
Amen. Very cool. Good for y'all. But I mean, you're statistically, you're highly unusual.
Very.
I mean, way up there in the success module. Way to go, man.
Thank you.
Way to go. And I mean, with the ability to make $150,000, $200 a year that going forward, and not a payment in the world. The amount of wealth you're going to be able to build is just basic compound interest math. You know the math as a CFO. It's going to be mind-blowing. $10 million. I mean, $20 million.
Oh, easily.
Amazing.
This is wild. So what made you guys go, all right, I knocked out the student loans. What if we put a big down payment and we just knock this house out real quick? Were you guys in unity from day one on that?
We were, I think it was mainly the flexibility we want with our family. If I decide to work part-time, whatever we decide there, we want the flexibility not to owe anyone anything.
It becomes a short conversation with a lot of joy.
That's right.
Instead of a lot of stress of how are we going to make this work?
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Man, that's so cool.
That's a great why.
Good for you. Well done. Very well done. It's one of the reasons that we lose our team members. I was having breakfast downstairs the other day with my son, who's the president of the company, and a young lady walked by and stopped, and tears run down her face. She said, "This is my last week." And I'm like, "Well, I'm so sorry. Where are you going?" She said, "I have my second baby. I'm going home. I don't have to work." I went, "Well, that's good. We don't want you to leave because we need the help, but that's good. If you're going to lose an employee, that's the way to lose one, right?"
Yes.
You know, I mean, that's pretty cool. You taught them stuff. They changed their life. They don't need us.
We got financial peace now, Dave. We're good. Thanks.
Yeah, way to go, you guys.
Thank you.
That's exactly where you're going to be, right? I mean, you're going to be that person. That's where you're set up to be because you've been smart and you've been careful. Have you had a lot of encouragement?
We've had some encouragement from friends. It's been just mostly people saying, "Well, I'm not sure if I would do that, but I'm happy for you guys."
Yeah, y'all are a little weird.
Yeah.
You are weird. Statistically, very weird. But hey, by the way, being wealthy is weird statistically.
Yeah.
So.
We work like it. We work like it depended on us, but we prayed like it depended on God.
Amen. Well, way to go. All right, what do you tell people? You're sitting here, everything's paid for. You started this off with a student loan. You started the marriage off. You're on the same page. What is the key to being 100% debt-free, house and everything, before you're 30?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is making sure you're on the same page with budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
We've used every dollar right from the beginning of our marriage, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, we still use it and will continue to use it. One thing that also has helped is, if you feel like you got to go 1,000 miles and you take the first couple steps, feels like you got a long way to go, and it is a long way to go, but it really does help when you have a life partner that can be a cheerleader and say, hey, we're one step closer, the goal exists, it's not just a mirage out there. And that was a big one.
Yeah, you got to really lay the math down so that the light at the end of the tunnel is not an oncoming train, that this isn't a mirage.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to go, I'm barking up the wrong tree, this is crazy stuff. No, it really does work. I mean, by the time I'm 28, I'm going to have a paid for $400,000 house. Oh my God, it's right where you're going to be. I mean, this is pretty cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're going home to have a mortgage burning party with our friends and family. So an old-fashioned mortgage burning party.
That's good. I like
That's
it.
the way to do it right there. You got to print it out now and do a whole thing. They don't even send you in the mail anymore.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Oh, it's summer. You can take your shoes off, walk through the backyard. The grass feels different when it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That's
very
pretty
much
cool.
So.
Very different. Very different. I love it, guys. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. How's it feel to have no payments in the world?
Feels like freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah. Freedom. That's it. That's it. Well done. Hey, we've got the Live and Give box for you that's got the Total Money Makeover book. You'll be able to give that away. The Baby Steps Millionaires book, that's you, very soon, and a multimillionaire in the future. And be sure to enjoy those 2 #1 bestsellers. A Financial Peace University membership. You'll be able to give that to somebody that's inspired by your story. Your story is inspiring. You guys are heroes. We're so proud of you. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very well done. And, hey, I got to tell you, man, I like 2 debt-free screams.
The double dip.
One when you get rid of the consumer debt. Come back when you knock out the mortgage. I'm in for both. I'm ready.
We'll welcome you back with open arms.
I'm big on celebrating people who are heroes. Well done. Good work, good work. Leo and Paige, Cincinnati, Ohio. $140,000 paid off in 37 months, making $130 to $150. House and everything. And they did it before they're 30. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free!
Yeah! Whoop, 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 whoop. Love it. Way to go, you two. Way to go. Hey, while everybody's doing layoffs out there and firing people, we're hiring. Matter of fact, I got to hire somebody to replace that young lady I was talking about. That was a sweet, bittersweet conversation. She was so sweet. And standing there talking to me and, the president of the company and been here several years and very smart. We will definitely miss her talents, but she's going home to be a mom. I mean, there's not anything better. If I'm going to lose someone out of here, that's how I want to lose them, right? Yeah, we got open roles in marketing and technology and sales, and we need people like you to come join us. If you're a technology person, by the way, we leave at 5 and go home. You don't work 80 hours here. So you're working for some companies working you like a dog. We don't do that. So this is way more than just a radio show. There's over 1,000 people in this building, and we help people get out of debt, build wealth, do work that they love, create quality mental health and connected relationships, all with common sense and very countercultural. But good Lord, it doesn't take much to be countercultural today. Check out all the open roles at RamseySolutions.com/careers. RamseySolutions.com/careers. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Luke 6:31. And as you wish that others would do to you, do so to them. Mark Twain says, kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Pat's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Hi, Pat. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, thanks for having me and your staff answer my email. So I was calling in reference to I did the financial piece for university during COVID. I paid off a rental home, all my debt, credit card debt, and my car. My only debt right now is my only debt right now is my home that I currently live in and my student loan. So
Okay.
I have a financial advisor that I reached out to, and I told him that I wanted to pay. I'm down to $15,000 on the student loan. So I told him I wanted to pay that off in the next year. And he feels that I should not do that. Instead, allocate that money towards my Roth IRA. So my question is, do I go against him? Do I go, I don't know which road to take.
Mm-hmm. And how much do you owe on your student loan?
$15,000. So I'm almost there.
Okay.
But I'm about to be 60 next month, and I still have a student loan, and I don't want next week, and I don't want to have this over my head anymore.
Well, you know what you need to do, and that's pay off those loans. You have the money to do it?
Well, my goal was to pay them off and then pay aggressively and get them done in 1 year, the $15,000.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. It's kind of like going to a dentist and saying, hey, do I have any cavities that you think would need to be filled? The dentist is going to find some cavities. You know what I mean? And so the financial advisor wants you to invest because that's how they make money. And they're not thinking about the full picture in this case about your freedom and your retirement and your goals.
And your peace.
Okay. And I know that this loan forgiveness is going nowhere. So that's why I said I had it, and I just want to get this done with.
So here's the thing. Okay, his theory, if I understand it correctly, is that instead of paying off the $15,000, you should put the $15,000 into his investments, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And so what he's saying is that the student loan, he can make more on the money than the student loan interest is. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so what if he came to you and said, what's the interest rate on your student loan, by the way, Pat?
4.25.
Okay. What if he said, I've arranged $1 million loan for you at 4.25. I want you to borrow $1 million and give it to me to invest because I can make more than 4.25 on it. What would you do? What would you do?
What would I do?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I'm not really sure what to do.
Would you borrow? It's not a trick question. Would you go borrow $1 million?
No.
At 4.25 so that you could invest the money with him because he says he can make more than that?
No.
Okay. Now, it's not a trick question. I'm not trying to catch you off guard. But what I am doing is just sometimes when you're looking at a decision like this, if you add a bunch of zeros to the decision, it makes the principle become very crystal clear. So let me tell you what just happened in our conversation. Okay? When I made it not 15,000, but I made it $1 million, you felt the weight of debt. You felt the risk of debt. And you said, I might actually intellectually know that I might make more than 4%, but I'm not willing to take the risk that I won't. I don't like the weight of that. That's what just happened in this conversation, wasn't it? That's what your brain did.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
No, yes, you're right.
Okay. And so because it's only 15,000, it makes you go, well, maybe he's right. But your heart is saying, no, I want the peace. Okay. So I would agree with you. I think he's wrong, and I would pay off my student loans. And I also would consider a different financial advisor because he's not aligned with your value system and how you see things. And his job is not to change your values. His job is to make suggestions. Did you hear what you said? You said, do I go against him? This is your money.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be asking a question about, do I go against him? He's not your husband. He's a financial advisor. It should be going, I don't understand why he would say that. I don't want to do that, and it makes me confused. That's the way. But but instead you're having to go. But so what else is he bringing to you that you didn't catch? That's what bothers me. And I'm not saying he's a crook. I'm saying he doesn't agree with your way of seeing the world. And you should have someone that says, I agree with your way of seeing the world. That's why we tell people, financial, the SmartVestor pros, they are aligned with our way of seeing the world. They're not going to tell you to go into debt to invest.
And if you say, I want to pay off this debt, they're not going to go, whoa, hold on, we shouldn't do that. You should go invest in here.
Matter of fact,
instead.
they would say, yeah, you should do that before you talk to me.
And say, come back in 6 months when you're debt free.
Exactly. And I'll help you with your Roth IRA then. And you're a little bit behind because you're 60 years old, so we need to get going. They'll encourage you, right? And that kind of stuff. But they're not going to put you in debt or keep you in debt in order to do investing. And, that guy could be doing that with nefarious motives. He could be just because he wants a commission. But it could be he just really believes it's the right thing and he's wrong.
That's very much possible.
And I'm more scared of an enthusiastic ignoramus than I am a con artist.
They can do some danger.
Yeah, because they're enthusiastic, And I think you need to rethink who you're taking advice from because it doesn't align with your values. Not because it doesn't align with mine, but because it doesn't align with yours. That's what's important. And so, I had a CPA one time years ago, George, when Ramsey was a small company. It was actually a friend, and but he knew I had gone through everything, losing everything, and I'm now debt free and I don't borrow money anymore. He came in and he was kind of going to tell me how things are, kind of going to school me up a little bit, and he said, so, and I don't agree with you about this whole debt thing and being debt free and all that, but we don't have to be in agreement about that for me to do your taxes.
Oh boy.
Or to be your CPA. And I thought, yeah, actually we do.
Kind of do.
Yeah, we kind of do.
Deal breaker.
Because a CPA who can't do math is bothersome. That's just a problem. So I can't do that. No, it's not, we can be friends.
We can hang out on the weekend.
But you're not doing my books.
There's a big difference.
It's a bit different thing here. So, yeah, I got lots of friends who think I'm nutty, and I think they are. But that's okay, and some of them are closer friends than others. But, man, yeah, we're not going to do that. We have to be aligned on this. It's very important, folks, that when you're dealing in the financial realm that you get someone with the heart of a teacher.
That's huge. And someone that actually explains to you and doesn't just tell you, oh, go do this. When you ask why,
because I said so.
They should be slow, methodical, and go, here's exactly why. They're making suggestions, and then you are still making the choice. That's a huge part of this. Don't ever call the show and said, the financial advisor made me. No. Mm-mm. You call the shots. You make the choices.
Yeah. My guy lost all my money. Nope. You did. Because you didn't make the decision. It's your responsibility to decide. This is the problem. Like when I'm meeting with the guys in the NFL or something, they go, I got me a guy. And I'm like, no, dude, you're the guy. You're the guy.
That's a dangerous sentence.
Yeah, I got me a guy is what you say right before all your money disappears. And you have no idea where it went. Yeah. No, that guy's got you is what's happening. No, you have to make your own decisions. That your mortgage person, your insurance person, your estate planning attorney, your investment advisor for sure are teachers. They give you ideas and advice, and then you decide. Period. That's the only way. Good show, George. Well done. Well done. That puts this hour in the books. We'll be back with you, folks, before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's George Camel. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.